Yo, what's good, YouTube? JayZ TV back with my final video for a while. I won't be back till the news segment tonight, but we are going to be going from 100 all the way to 51 for albums of all time, hip hop albums of all time. Rolling Stones definitely having some very questionable choices here, and it's pretty entertaining to see what albums they include here. Starting off at number 100, this is a good ass entry. Run DMC, Raising Hell. Stunning the world during the summer. This album came out in 1986. One of the most ambitious, consistent, action-packed rap albums ever. To that point, Rick Rubin produced it, inventing the whole idea of an all-killer, no-filler hip-hop album. Run DMC, they rock their tricky, tricky, tricky rhymes on songs like Peter Piper, My Adidas. Jam Master Jay plays King Midas on the turntables. This album proved how hard rap could go over 40 minutes of wax, kicking off the golden age. This was hip hop's tipping point, pretty much. Nobody ever called rap a fad again, so this is very revolutionary. We are getting to the top 100. These are going to be some big albums. Count on that. Good ass entry. I love this. At number 99, this might be Lil Wayne's first album on the list. We have the Carter 2. Deeming himself the best rapper alive on this album before he would go on to have one of the most historic runs in rap music ever. So he kind of destined himself to that. Fireman blasting off stereos and parties all over the world. Carter 2 and Hustler music exhibit a lot of wordplay you wouldn't expect from a guy from New Orleans. If you were an avid Wayne listener, you knew how good this man was. Hustler music has some great bars. If you're going to debate Weezy F Baby being the greatest rapper alive, the evidence on your side starts with the Carter 2 and the Carter 1. I don't know if they're going to put the Carter 1 on here. There are a lot of different musical talents to behold on this list. But, yeah. I don't know who Company Flow is. Clips? Okay, we got a Clips entry here at 97. I like Pusha T. It's coke rap, glorified a decadent criminal lifestyle, I guess. The fraternal duo with Malice and Pusha T, they deploy their sparkling intelligence and lyricism like hypnotists. I didn't listen to this album, but I know how iconic it is for Pusha T's career. It just shows it. I mean, people don't think Pusha T's been doing this for a while, but man, oh man, he has the shit to back it up. I'm sorry if I'm blocking the view of any of the content here. Yeah, we're gonna go a little faster in this episode. Ice-T. I know who Ice-T is, but I don't think I've ever heard of this album before. He had a movie soundtrack hit, Colors, who's coming off of that. This is his second studio album. It doubled down on his debut of Rhyme Pays, funky, funny tales of street life, women and guns. At 30 years old, he made the album. He was old. He was worldly compared to his other peers. This album is the work of a definitive pre-NWA LA gangsta artist. The Africa Islam produced it. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Okay, we got T.I. here at number 95. Trap music. I feel like I've heard a couple of tracks off this record. T.I. is very iconic in the South. His debut album flopped. He stoked industry buzz with his In the Streets mixtapes, resulting in what may be the first major rap album dedicated to the trap musical style. T.I. pretty much revolutionized that. He picked the genre up and just rode with it. I love what he did to trap music. Any trap artist right now that's a real trap artist would probably appreciate this guy. He almost invented it. Him and JayZ alone. Be Easy, 24s. Those are some good songs. Long Live the Game. De La Soul. De La Soul is dead. I know who De La Soul is, but again, this isn't an album I'm very familiar with. Rolling Stones has some very interesting choices. I'm not mad at it at all, though. Alright, here we go. Now we're talking. At 93, we have Ice Cube with Death Certificate. He released it on Halloween. It was one of 12 rap albums that went platinum that year. Life and death kind of split conceptually in the album. This is his second album. It's calculated, callous, consumed by a passion to report on the black man's reality. A set of cunning, controversial narratives. kind of remade the world in Inferno Parliament samples and brass knuckle lyricism. Very punchy tracks. He didn't want his success to make him a pop star in any way. He was still an outlaw hungry to mirror the heat he felt outside his South Central home. Yeah, Uncle Sam, wow. That's a crazy album cover. DJ Shadow. I just realized it said Uncle Sam. I didn't even realize that before. Who is DJ Shadow? I'm sorry. Boogie Down Productions. Not familiar. Okay, we got some Kid Cudi coming in at number 90 with Man on the Moon, The End of Day. It's impossible to overstate just how firm a stranglehold Day and Night, the lead single from Kid Cudi's 2009 debut. Man on the Moon, The End of the Day had over the culture one of the most iconic songs of the late 2000s and early 2010s. The song's infectious chorus belied Cudi's emotional resonance, despite being a once-in-a-generation party anthem for sure. The song falls in line with much of the record as an exploration of the mental health and emotional turbulence of the artist behind it. Cudi took rap's stoner trope and turned it inward. Finally, rap music to smoke weed and be, it's not just a gangsta genre anymore. Cudi kind of changed that. He kind of brought the sensitivity into rap music, which I really like him for that. A lot more rappers are more emotional. To be fair, 808s and Heartbreak by Kanye definitely helped the sad rap genre push a little bit more. Kid Cudi continued it, and now years later, those two are working together. So yeah, that's pretty dope. Brand Nubian, who knows who that is? Okay, we got Cypress Hill, however you say their name. I know who Cypress Hill is. Hip hop acts didn't rap about weed at one point. I mean, but they took a massive bong hits. Cuban American Crew, enthusiastic gun usage on how I could just kill a man. Very psychedelic tracks, like high tracks. Stoned is the way of the walk. Yeah. Be Real is a pretty good artist. I think he is the most popular of the group. So, yeah, I don't have too much to say about it, but it's a decent entry. I don't know what the hell this is. I mean, you guys are really just throwing albums in here. Ultra Magnetic MCs, never heard of them. Sorry. Common? Okay, we got another Common entry. Never heard of this album before. It features contributions from various members of the Soul Quarians Collective. Jay Dilla, Mos Def, The Roots, D'Angelo, Bilal, all very iconic people in this time. Making reference to Afrobeat pioneers, Black Panther revolutionaries, post-bop titans. Common brings a restless intelligence to the warm, sensuous tracks. He admits to abusing women in his past on the light. He spits with lyrical assurance in both positive and ugly ways on songs like Nag Champa, Aphrodisiac for the World, and Thelonious. It also marks an artist at his creative peak, so this is possibly his most creative album. It might not be his best album of all time, or even the album people know him for, but I guess he needs his credit for that album. Oh, nice, I like it. 85, we got Eminem with the Slim Shady LP. One of my favorite Eminem albums of all time. Nobody was entirely prepared for the Slim Shady LP. Straight out of the urban trailer park, man. White trash kid, man. Eminem's major label debut was the fuck everything primal screams of a white bottle blonde lunatic, well aware he had everything to prove, both to an audience and his new mentor, the legendary Dr. Dre, which the way they found out about each other is kind of a crazy story. And prove Eminem did, following a brilliantly goofy single produced by Dr. Dre, My Name Is, with an album packed with cartoonishly icky, ultra-violence, guilty conscience, and genuinely disturbing ultra-violence. 97, Bonnie and Clyde. Thanks to his mind-boggling lyrical skills and mass appeal, Slim Shady put Eminem in the hip-hop pantheon and made him a culture lightning in a ride overnight. Pop music hasn't been the same since. Pop music? I don't know what they mean by pop music, but okay. Interesting. Let's move on. Shout out to Eminem. This album full of funny verses, storytelling like no other, fictional storytelling. This man Eminem was a storyteller. If you put him on a stand-up comedian show, he would make everyone laugh. Oh God. I like this album. Vince Table's Summertime '06 over Slim Shady LP. No. On this album, his always humorous persona comes through in every bar, delivered into relentless pockets like some rapidly composed fire tweet over the bass-heavy drone of "Lift Me Up." He snaps on the song. As if he's got a week-long residency in the Catskills. But there are also moments of poignant beauty here. Witness the dreamy Summertime in CMB, whose boastful hook plays counterpart to the verse's scathing social commentary, proves that sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. It's a very weird album. He's a very peculiar artist. But this album's pretty good. I wouldn't put it above Eminem, but I like that they put the album on the list. I'm not mad at that at all. Senorita, I think, is the song with the Future hook. That's a good song. I think he has a couple tracks with Earl on here. So yeah. MIA, I've heard of MIA, but I have no idea what this album is. I'm going to move on. Slick Rick, shout out to Slick Rick. He's an absolute legend. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, one of the best storytellers. Dashing, irreverent, hysterical, wise, bursting with charm. This was his classic debut in '88. Tall Tales, man, Children's Story, Mona Lisa, Moment I Feared, stuff like that. Who is Digital Planets? Oh shit, okay, we got Earl Sweatshirt with some rap songs. Rolling Stones is pretty damn cultured for putting Earl Sweatshirt on this list, may I add. It's a basic title for an album with so many lifetimes behind it. Released after the passing of his father. I'm not going to try to say his name. He was a poet. Earl Sweatshirt's third solo outing is meditative, insular, snarky, snippet-length tracks that make you feel like you've imbibed his whole worldview. As a card is a spectral apologia, with some of the Odd Future Prodigy's most poignant lyrics addressing his battles with depression and alcoholism. Meanwhile, Cold Summers, with its Byzantine bars, simply slaps. This album's really good. It's experimental. It's very controversial. A lot of rap fans like to talk about this album. It's possibly his best album. It's one of my favorite albums of that year. Going back and listening to some of the albums from 2018, this album still holds a strong place as one of my favorites. So yeah, shout out to Earl Sweatshirt. This album's a masterpiece, man. Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. Don't they have a Paid in Full? Are they going to put Paid in Full on here? I don't think they did that. Their landmark debut was really good. Juicy beats, endless bars. I'm not going to talk too much. These guys are legends. I just don't know that album. Azealia Banks. I don't know her that much, so I'm just going to move on. Okay, 77. We got JayZ, Kanye West, Watch the Throne. A very iconic time in music. To wit, this gilded flex on Eurocentric creative elites is fueled by the constant looting of and barriers to black excellence. Ye, and their A-list collaborators have subsumed all genres, a dubstep sample, a Bon Iver cameo, Nina Simone's voice deftly auto-tuned, Frank Ocean's croon placed over a riff by Roxy music guitarist Phil Manzanera. It's a Ye-driven spectacle, but Jay's lyrics reveal the alienation that's always lurking. Now, yeah, this album is pretty much Kanye's album. Like, when people mention this album, they more mention it in Kanye's discography than Jay-Z's. But it's still, Jay-Z played a pretty big part on it lyrically. Gangstar. I know who Gangstar is, but again, not familiar. Wow. Megan Thee Stallion with Fever at 75. All eyes were on her this spring and dropped. Sex Romp, big ol' freak. Her previous project was climbing up the charts. Her cunning freestyles were making their rounds. I like Megan. I kind of like Megan Thee Stallion. I can appreciate her. I'm not going to be misogynistic and come on here and talk shit about Megan Thee Stallion because I genuinely appreciate what she's done with some of her albums. People just like to talk shit because she's a female. Again, I get that's what it's about. Juicy J was on this record. I don't have too much else to say though. Shout out to her. Public Enemy, not familiar with the album, but shout out to Public Enemy. I'm not old enough, dude. This came out freaking 22 years ago. I was 13. This was 13 years before I was even born. Flava Flav, man, the freaking clock necklace. That's all I'm gonna say. Farside. I don't know if I've heard of this guy before. Maybe. Let's just move on. we're already making this video too long if we haven't heard of the album. Who the fuck is Dr. Octagon? Come on, dude. Shout out to Queen Latifah. I don't know what this album is, but shout out to Queen Latifah. She's definitely made her mark. I'm not gonna say much. The Fugees. Here we go. This is some good shit. Lauryn Hill, man. Wow. Wyclef Jean. A Godfather-like album cover. It's so cool. Glitch in the Matrix. This is fucking dope. I don't have much to say about it, though. Ghostface Killah. Shout out to Ghostface Killah. He's legendary. He's had a couple rap albums on here already. There's some very questionable placements. I'm not going to talk about this. Juvenile. Maybe? I might have seen this album before. He's from New Orleans. He was part of the Balance Scene, Third Ward. Numerous regional hits. Evocative video. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just move on. Sick. We got the Ghetto Boys on here. Again, not a group I really listen to that much, but I can definitely appreciate them. Southern Rap Titans, Texas, putting them on the map, kind of starting the whole Houston thing, almost. I don't know if they're from Texas or Houston, but yeah, I can appreciate them. I don't know what these entries are. Again, I know who 3 6 Mafia is. Juicy J is a part of it. DJ Paul is obviously the DJ. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I will say that. Interesting. I don't know what these entries are. Again, another group. They really like De La Soul. Holy shit. They really like De La Soul on this list, don't they? That's crazy. Let's just keep moving. Alright, here we go. Now we're talking 50 Cent with Get Rich or Die Tryin'. It isn't just a smashing hit, it's a key moment in producer Dr. Dre's unprecedented 3-act career. Executive producing a crew of crack beatmakers, Dre applied his magic to an unknown Queens rapper, matching East Coast lyrical minimalism with West Coast G-Funk minimalism. Turned out to be an ideal blockbuster pairing. It doesn't hurt that End the Club, the album's perfect first single, will be played on dance floors from now until the end of time. This is a very high-selling album, I might add as well. 50 Cent shot through the roof with this album. Black Star, Most Def and Talib Kweli, rap duo, yeah. Oh, nice. Here we go. This is the first MF Doom we've seen. Operation Doomsday. It came out in 99. The second coming of Zev Love X, formerly of early 90s conscious rap crew KMD, and reintroduced a mysterious figure who'd become one of underground rap's greatest voices. MF Doom a ruminating wizard over Quiet Storm 10's tracks, sampling Sade on Doomsday, dexterous lyric rhymes, salient schemes, made other MCs look like talent show amateurs. Every sound he touches, Scooby-Doo theme song, gets mutated into something surreally brand new. So shout out to MF Doom, rest in peace. Scarface is a good rapper here at 61, but I'm not familiar, so let's just get going. Ooh, Kendrick Lamar with Damn coming in at 60. Palpably ambitious, Compton, California's very own, flaunts his usual Olympian level of vocal craft and cunning, but unlike the acting sprawls of 2015's To Pimp a Butterfly, the rapper's third album clarified his array of narrative and syntactical attacks, reverses, inversions, pretext, and flourishes into the most visceral, immediate music of his career, with the familiar galaxy of Los Angeles collaborators. Secret Weapon, Mike Will Made It. Lamar embeds melodic fragments or infectious refrains into his soul-scorching soliloquies. To wit, the Pulitzer Prize judges became in total stance. That's insane. A rapper winning the Pulitzer Prize. You have to give Kendrick Lamar his flowers for an album like this. Man, shout out to Kendrick Lamar. This album's fantastic. Conceptually, it is one of his best albums ever. Seriously. It's really good. It's open for interpretation. I love it. Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death. Another good record. Released posthumously, of course. This was his final studio album. An overwhelming spectacle. Narrative sweep. Gladiator-level conflict. Hate Me Now pop ambition. Jealous friends and foes. Backed by foreboding yet lustrous samples. Biggie exploded. Visually explicit details. how black folks suffer, party, or perish in America's white supremacist shakedown. Celebratory on Hypnotize, paranoid on Mo Money, Mo Problems, cautionary like a shark on 10 Crack Commandments, which is one of the best like coke rap songs ever. He moaned the first chorus with veritable gospel dread. You're nobody till somebody kills you. We gasped in awful ascent. Shout out to Notorious B.I.G. And up next, pretty much a counterpart in the 90s time, we have another Ice Cube album, America's Most Wanted. I'm not going to read it like it's supposed to because it's kind of fucking fucked up, but yeah. You know, Chuck D's vision on this one, the black people CNN fulfilled on this album, announced Ice Cube as the Down by Law spokesman. Kinda like he was Kendrick Lamar because before Kendrick was Kendrick Lamar on this record. Not much to say. You know, you got Endangered Species, you got What They Hit Info, Funny, Furious, Authentic, yeah. Okay, Beastie Boys with License to Ill. This is a pretty good entry at 57. You know, Eminem was widely influenced by the Beastie Boys. Younger people wouldn't understand, which I don't. You know, Paul's Boutique, Ill Communication were great projects by them. The singular impact of this album was just through the roof. Rick Rubin involved again, you know, Schoolie D, Run DMC, Inspirations. You know, Paul Revere's a big track on here. Kind of want to get through this list though. No Name, I know who No Name is, but I don't know this album or anything like that. Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. This is one of their best albums of all time. This is their third album. Wasn't quite experimental like people wanted it to be. Wasn't quite as jazzy as people wanted it to be. It's a timeless fan favorite. They were equally gifted when it came to meat and potatoes hip hop. You know, samples were brilliantly curated. You know, going to jazz and soul. Yeah. Nothing much. You know, you got Steve Biko, you got Sucka. You got Electrical Relaxation. Yeah. Migos Culture. This is a very interesting one. Atlanta trio Migos had already cycled through a handful of peaks and valleys before making their biggest album, blowing up with zany mixtapes like YRN, Young Rich, being written off with their disappointing Young Rich Nation, regaining popularity with the Look at My Dad dance fad, Offset, Quavo, and Takeoff's style eventually slowed from chanting Hannah Montana to the rope-a-dope mic trading of Bad and Bougie, where Offset, Quavo, and guest Lil Uzi Vert drop punchlines that land like feathers. You know, T-Shirt's a good song. It's driven by Quavo's haunting chorus. It's the way that the trio punctuate culture verses with ad-libs, giving their songs a rhythmic, vocal jazz cadence that makes their performance so memorable. Salt and Pepper. Again, I've heard of them. They're very legendary, but don't know the album. Ooh, here we go. We got 2 more albums to go, and we might be ending off with a bang. We got Kanye West, The College Dropout. His most endearing. His humor is bright and weightless. As a woman or diploma owner, find yourself at the butt of the joke, you can still laugh at it. His religious convictions are so palpable they elicit empathy, even if you're a staunch non-believer. His reflections on working retail, dysfunctional families, unabashed consumerism, personal aptitude, and dreaming are as bewitching as raps can be. And to think West also dreamed up nearly every timeless beat on which he bared it all as a spanking new artist is also almost too much. This album is both incredibly human and impossibly extraordinary. Last album is The Roots, Things Fall Apart. That's a great way to end this part for the day. You know, rap fans in the late 90s looked for an alternative. The genre's commercial access. This was the holy grail. Socially observant, profoundly musical thesis statements. The band from Philadelphia, they dared to play their own instruments. Live band, rap group. Fantastic. I love it. You know, Black Thought was on here. Mos Def and Common. Drummer Questlove is fantastic. I love that guy. Dilla collaborated. Scott Storch. Renewing warmth on this. Neo Soul. Head nodding energy. It was pretty real. It's commitment to Hip Hop's Human Elements, very timeless album. So that's going to do it. I got to go eat. I got to go watch Breaking Bad and then get ready for work. But I'm out. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day.